And we must understand that there's power in allowing our alliances to get so strong in our lives, right? That we don't know how to detach when they're no longer benefiting us. Makes sense? Have you ever gone through a breakup? Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about maybe as a teenager, you had your first real, what they call it, puppy love. You ever been through that? And then you found out something. I remember one time I had a buddy of mine who said his girlfriend was cheating on him. Now we're in high school. I'm like, well, what do you mean cheating on you? Like, y'all, man, what's going on? What's happening? Man, I saw her talking to another guy in the library. I'm like, okay. And man, my heart is broken. And now there may have been more to the story. I don't know. I didn't stay around and really hear the full details relative to that. But his heart was broken, right? Because now, instead of staying in that situation that he thought was now toxic, right? He had to move on. And sometimes in our lives, we miss out on blessings. We miss out on open doors. We miss out on opportunities because we don't know when to move on. We don't understand and we don't know how to read the signs. Or let me say it better, because I just told a bold-faced lie. You know how to read signs. You've just become an expert at ignoring signs. Yeah, I just said something there. Yeah, you know how to read signs. You can read. I remember I was driving the other day down the street going at a pretty good rate of speed, and the light, I anticipated it was going to stay green. It turned yellow, and before I knew it, I blew through the yellow light. It had turned red as we were going through, and my son was like, "Daddy, the light was red." I couldn't lie. I knew it was going to turn red. Right? I ignored the warning sign. It turned yellow before I got to the intersection. Because I made in my mind that I was going to keep moving forward, keep going, I blew through the sign. So sometimes in life, you got to think about it. What are some signs that you've ignored with regard to your alliances, your connections, your friendships, your associations that may be telling you, you know what? If you want to move forward, if you want to grow, if you want to develop stronger character, better character, you got to disconnect from this group of people. You've got to find a new group of people that are going the same direction you're going. Because I tell young people all the time, I say, listen, man, on these school campuses, in these neighborhoods, wherever you want to go, you can find somebody that's going there. Let me break it down to soundbite, because their eyes get bucked when I say that. And I say, yeah, if you want to go to college, there's somebody on this campus that's going to college. Why don't you connect with them and see what their plan is, and you all can compare notes and say, you know what, let's do it together. There's somebody on this campus, I tell these young people that they're going to the military. If you want to go to the military, find out who they are. Befriend them. And say, hey, you know what? I'm going to the Air Force as well. Let's work on this thing together. And I know it's funny, and I don't mean to be as direct as I am, but it's my show, so I'll be direct. I say there's some people who are going to jail. There are some people who have made up in their minds that I'm going down the wrong path. Jail may be a little bit harsh. So there are some people who have made up in their minds, I'm going to go down the wrong path. I don't care if you tell me it's wrong. I don't care what warning signs I hear about or see. I don't care who gets killed. I don't care who in my life has gone down this path and it didn't work out for them. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be different. I'm the man. I'm the woman. I'm the person that's going to do what I want to do. You have those people. Even as grown adults, you have people who are messy. And if you're not from our community, let me tell you what messy is. They spread ill words about people. They spread lies. They enjoy gossiping. But somehow it's going to hurt because you don't want to be the next subject matter. you will stay connected to them because you don't want them to gossip about you, and you don't even realize they're already doing it. Yeah. But you want to stay aligned with them because you want to stay save face and be cool. And no. When it's time to move on, even as a grown adult, it's time to move on. There are some things you cannot grow in hanging around the same people. There are some people, listen, man, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've dropped a couple of pounds, right? I had to stop hanging with people who wanted to eat cheeseburgers all day. Well, let me not lie. I had to stop eating cheeseburgers with them, right? When they're going to eat cheeseburgers and French fries and Cokes, I'm like, I'm not going. I can't go. I mean, I know me. If I go there, I'm going to end up eating what you eating. So I'm going to hang with people who drinking barley juice and celery juice and eating protein all day. That's what I'm going to do. I'm being extreme, and you know what I'm saying. But there's several reasons why people, adults or otherwise, don't feel that they can move on or they should move on from people, even when they know that this thing is not helping me to grow. The first reason, studies show that people feel that they got to stay connected to individuals who no longer serve them well, is because of emotional attachment. Yeah. We've been friends for X amount of years. I can't see moving on, and no longer having that person in my life. I get it. And let me clarify, because I'm not saying that you got to always cut people out of your life. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are some people who are doing things that you no longer want to engage in. I can no longer do that with you. I can no longer engage in, I've grown now. I no longer want to engage in gossip with you. If you're on that tip when you call, I ain't got time right now. But you call me if you want to talk about something productive. Hey, let's talk. But if you're only calling me to tell me about the latest negative talk in the neighborhood or what's happening at the job and who you hate here and who you don't like over there and who has this bag, I don't have time for that. But if you're calling about, hey, I found a new recipe. Hey, let's go on a family vacation. Hey, I found this, whatever. I'm just giving, cursory examples, but there are some examples that you can think of where you're like, man, these people are serving me well in this area, but not that area. So let me just stay connected with when they're doing this. But there's some people you got to cut off all the way. And I get it. There are other people who don't know how to cut off certain relationships or associations and friendships that no longer serve them because they have a difficult time doing what I just said. Yeah, let me break it down. They don't know how to set boundaries. And if you're going to be successful in life, listen, I am 40-something years old. I just learned how to set boundaries. Let me say it better. I just learned how to set boundaries and stick to what I set. There are those of you who are listening, who are watching, who are viewing right now, who are saying to yourself, man, that's me. I got difficulty setting boundaries. People tell me that, hey, they're going to only go this far, and I let them go that far. I forgive them, and so forth and so on. You don't like confrontation. That's what it is. And if you're going to turn over a new leaf, I should say, in life, especially we're going into, this is the third quarter of the year, the fourth quarter of the year. We're in the fourth quarter of 2024. You gotta learn how to set boundaries. Other reasons why people have difficulty moving on from connections that no longer serve them is because they have this unhealthy dependency on people. The person that is not good for you feels a void in a certain area. And you can fill in the blank. I'm not talking about any certain thing in this moment. But sometimes people have an emotional void that they feel. Some people have a sexual void, for lack of a better word, that some people feel for them. And so you'll take all of this 80% negative stuff to get that 20% feeling and then go right back to the 80% negative stuff. So sometimes people have difficulty and they forget how powerful associations and friendships are and how much they mean relative to your success. You only go as high or as low as the people you hang out with. Once again, I'm not talking about hanging out on the corner or hanging out in the bar. I'm talking about people that you spend time with. So here it is. What are some things you can do to start surrounding yourself with the right people that are going the same place and the same way and the same direction that you're going? Number one, are you ready? Write this down. Number one, evaluate your current network. Take inventory. Every now and again, people have to take. I remember one time I was an overnight stalker at Walmart. Yeah, my first job after high school. I was an overnight stalker. I forgot. I think I went in at 11, maybe 11 to 7, something like that. I worked overnight. And at that time, I'm dating myself a little bit, right? Walmarts were not 24 hours. It's so funny because individuals who were born after Walmart became 24 hours can't imagine a time when Walmart was not. Well, now you can, because since COVID, a lot of places are no longer 24 hours. So I get it. In fact, yeah, this is another soapbox I'll get on later, but my gym is called 24-Hour Fitness, but it ain't open 24 hours. Yeah, go figure, right? But nonetheless, here it is. I was an overnight stalker, and there were times when we would get stuff in. Let's say, I don't know, for lack of a better analogy or illustration, we would get in ramen noodles. Don't act like you don't know what ramen noodles are. Some people call it ramen noodles. I think it's called ramen noodles. And we'd get in new stocks. And the manager would say, go take inventory to see if there is some on the shelves that are already expired. In other words, don't just go up there putting the new noodles in front of the old noodles. Take the old stuff out because it no longer serves us. Take the old stuff off the shelf, right? Let's put it in the trash. It no longer serves us. It is no longer good, and it shouldn't be on the shelf. Evaluate your current network to find out who or what should no longer be on your shelf. Sometimes you've got to take off the old in order to make room for the new. Because if you leave the old, the new can never. The new don't have room to set up shop. If you hang on to the old, you won't have room, right? You won't have enough space, enough capacity to house what's new, what's relevant, and what's right for you in this moment. Number 2, seek out like-minded people. Remember one of my buddies, when he first started going to church, right? And he's a guy that was from the streets, did not grow up in anybody's church. Mother didn't make him go to church. She didn't go to church when they were growing up. And so that was just kind of like a foreign. I think they went maybe on Easter or, some major holiday, Christmas, or 2 or 3 times a year, and that was it. And I remember when he first decided to kind of just go all the way in with his church relationship, with his relationship with God. And he told me, he said, man, I go to church, but then I come back to my same friends, and they we're not in the same place no more. Like, it's real rough for me, man. These are my boys from childhood. They're people that I've been running with for over 20 years. But we're not like-minded anymore. I'm not doing what they're doing anymore. I'm not condemning them. I'm not sitting here telling them that they're no good. But at this point, they're not really good for me, because I want to go in this direction. Check this out. It's so funny. He said, it's funny, but it's not funny. He said, I want to go in this direction. They have no direction. So it's not that they're going in another direction. They ain't going nowhere. I don't want to be around that because it's going to take me away from where I want to go. So you got to seek out like-minded people to evaluate your current network. 2, seek out like-minded people. And then number 3, you got to prioritize growth.